I'm going to run you through a real life example of a property that I am actually currently in escrow closing on in a week that we know we are keeping as a flip. And I used our exact spreadsheet that I share with you, our rehab calculator and everything to know that I am doing this flip. And I also went over the scenarios. So here we go. I'm going to show you some quick photos of the property. I already have the numbers plugged in here, but if we go over to the photos of the property, here they are. You see here at backyard, that dog was the sweetest German Shepherd ever. I wanted to steal her. Right here, I note this, like this is definitely like some yard cleanup, right? So I have our spreadsheet here. Let me get rid of my face over here. And in here, I have like yard cleaned up, right? Like cleaning up that side yard is probably $750 or $500, and then landscaping a little bit, $750. So every single thing, every single picture I look at, I come back and I reference my sheet and make sure we have everything in there. I've also personally walked this property too, so I'm pretty familiar with it. This one's out in Greenville, Texas. Looking at this soffit trim, doesn't look bad. Looks like it needs to be sanded and painted. Same with some siding there, just sanded and painted. So I know that siding will be done. The spreadsheet was already filled out by my acquisition manager who did this. This is how I make it super easy for them. They know what to plug in, what to do, where it's at. I actually went in and I think I made a video for you guys and I said, one of the key things that guys always forget on my team to do is the demo of a house. He had dumpsters on there, but I'm like, hey, dude, you forgot the demo. Like that's still like this whole house is getting taken out for us to do a $75,000 remodel. You forgot the demo. You can't forget that. So that's why I highlighted it red, was just to have a conversation with him. And then he also forgot the concrete flat work as well. So anyways, come back here. So I said like the siding, right? So like exterior hardy board siding, exterior painting, there it was. Basically sanding and painting the entire house like where needed. It's gonna be about $5,500. Going back to the photos, going through it, it is a 3-2 brick house with a 1-car garage, but like a really wide 1-car garage. There's that side yard that needed to be cleaned. Here's the inside of the house. This here, I think this was more towards the laundry room. It was a bit of a mess. There I am dealing with this lady. She was a talker. There's a laundry room here. We're going to take this. We'll clean up the ceiling here. We have that there in probably some sheetrock repairs. Let's see if I got it in there. Should be. There it is, sheetrock, all new. The house is like 1,500 square feet, but there's quite a bit that needs to be fixed. That's why that's budgeted a little bit higher. So it's in there. There's the garage I was talking about. It's a 1-car garage, but it's a very, very wide 1-car garage. It technically could have a 2-car garage door on it. But the garage door was fine. Besides the light thing hanging there, it was good. It was a new opener. Here's the flat work walking up to the door is fine. Here's more landscaping we need. HVAC was fine. It's like 8 years old, running great. We'll probably just do a service on it. That roof, if you don't know if a roof needs to be replaced, probably budget it. It's probably not going to come in super clear. You can see that's just a 3-tab shingle. It's an older roof. It might not be leaking, but on selling it in a market like this where it's not a super hot market, definitely needs to be changed out. So we budgeted to change the roof. Let's see, we have the roof on here. It's at the top. And remember, you got to use the full square footage of the entire house. So our living square footage on this home, I think is like 1,337, but the total square footage of the porches and the garage is about 1,800. I know I could get that roof done for about $9,000 on that house. Going through it, my contractor took these photos, or my project manager. That's just some separation from soil from the house because it's summertime in Texas and it's dry. Damaged gutter. We decided it will actually probably just be removing the gutters altogether. That's some sinking by the front porch there. That's probably fine for this flip. Then down here, I called, like, this is a soil pulling away. You see like there's a drain that hits right here, and just over time that drain hitting just moves soil away from the house. That's what's happened there. Probably just bring in a truckload of dirt and build that up and throw some sod on it. Easy fix. The windows were all good. There were vinyl windows on the house. There's some light cracks that were from foundation settling. That there is no kind of crack for us to worry about. We'll take it, fill it in with like some mortar caulk, and when we paint it, you won't even see it. We do have foundation repair on this house we'll be doing. It was light foundation, probably $3,000 worth of foundation. I am fairly certain that is in here as well. Foundation. There it is. Yep, $3,500 worth of foundation budgeted. Going through the photos, there's that dirt pulling away. As soon as we get rain, that'll swell back up and that'll go away. Here's the inside of the house. Inside is actually in pretty decent condition. We are going to switch out all the kitchen cabinets. They don't look horrible. I'd probably leave them for a rental, but I'm not going to for a flip. The stove was fine. The fridge is fine. She wanted to leave the fridge. I said, cool, great, go ahead, leave it. I always take a photo of our HVAC. This one's a little blurry, but the reason I do is you typically in here can find the age of it. That's just a blurry photo though, kind of a poor photo, but that's okay. We know that it's 8 years old. I think we already looked at the front of the house there, side of the house. Here we go. The tubs were not bad if we're doing a full flip on this house, which I'm not sure if we're going to do a full flip or like a quick flip on it. But like overall, it's weird that she has a black light as a porch light. Not sure what that means. Here you go. Here's, this was kind of like the dining-ish room area, I believe. Yeah, this is a sliding door going to the back. This house, as you can see, fairly simple. We'll redo the bathrooms. These vents are no longer the ones used for AC. They ran AC in the ceiling. You can see like that looks like a fur down for an AC somewhere maybe. See the AC vents are up top because they put a new AC in 8 years ago and did all that. Going back through here, big kitchen. So we did have to budget a little bit extra for a kitchen based on the size, all the flooring, new paint, new fans, new light fixtures, stuff like that. Not bad. So these are the photos of when she bought it like 4 years ago. So it's crazy what someone can do to a house in just 4 years. This is what the house looked like 4 years ago. So anyways, we have those numbers. We went line by line. We filled everything in. We know the garage door needed to be replaced, cleaning up the yard, foundation, interior paint of the house, vinyl plank, an all new kitchen cost about 10 grand. That vinyl planking throughout. Sometimes my guys, instead of breaking out like carpet versus vinyl plank, they'll just do new vinyl throughout the entire house and get that number there. Both bathrooms being fully remodeled. They're not needed for a rental, but we will probably just entertain like that being done, just for having if it's a full flip or a rental. If it's real and I wouldn't, but if it's a full flip, I would. Sheetrock there, the full dome of the house. There was no picture of the driveway, but the driveway had like 3-inch, 4-inch differences from where like it just broke and busted and looked awful. So we're busting out the driveway and replacing that. The driveway is only about 500 square feet, but this year is the same price. That's why I just put them together. So I still get the same number. Highlight that for my AM so he knows what he missed. But there's the 5,000 he missed there and the 3,000 he missed there. So he was calling rehab about 65. With some light tweaks I did, it came out to like 75. Fencing was all good. Had a new fence in the backyard. So we have all the miscellaneous light fixtures and stuff. 10 new interior doors. And then 5% just budgeted for unknowns. Gives us that $75,000 number. So now we go over to here. We have the square foot of the house. We found great comps that said this would be a $250,000 ARV. Repairs at $75,000. A wholesale fee of $20,000. I ended up buying this house from myself. I take all our properties we contract and I assign them from our wholesale company to our flip company. We contracted this for $95,000 and we sold it to ourselves for $115,000. We put a $20,000 fee on there. So that's how I use that. And then coming over to the scenarios, which you guys have seen, I already plugged the numbers in here because this is how I figured out what I want to do with this property. Is I looked at this and I have $95,000 as a purchase price. A full flip's going to cost me 75 grand. A quick flip, 35,000. Wholesale, there's not going to be any work to it. A rental, I just budgeted. A lot of my rentals, what I do now, just because I get tired of stuff breaking down the road, is when we get a rental, we have it deep enough. We're going to just fix everything. That way we take it, we hold it for 5 years. It's still not outdated. We could list it on market as is, and it looks great and it sells. So I don't really cut too many corners on rentals. Project lengths in here. I need to plug these in. So a wholesale, probably 3 months. A rental would be 6 months. Flip 250, a quick flip, meaning if I just threw like 35 grand into it, I think I get about 195. A wholesale, I think that would maybe go more around like 150. Oops. So let me fix that real quick. Wholesale 115 is what we know we could sell it for. I might be able to get like 120 for it with another buyer, but it'd be pushing it. And after I walked that house with that seller, because I was working with my new project manager, she is a talker. She likes to tell me every single thing wrong with that property, and she would do the same thing if we had a buyer walking that property, which would just be a pain. And then a rental 250 because we're going to do the same amount of work. So I've got all the numbers plugged in here. Our points are actually like a 1 and a 9. So I'll fix that. Rates are not at 8 anymore. They're at about 6.5%. So we've got that there. So this here tells me on this property what I should do. I go down and look at this summary. If I do a full flip on this property, I'm going to make about $44,000. If I just wholesale it, I'll make 20. I typically want to double my assignment fee if I'm going to flip something. A quick flip is going to make 31. A wholesale is going to be 29. A wholesale would make 20, as I mentioned. And if I did it as a rental, I would leave $13,000 in this deal, but I would have $62,500 in equity in this property. Something to note here is if I wasn't in a position to flip this property right now, I was too busy, had too much going on, and I couldn't flip it, I would either do a quick flip or a wholesale, right? These numbers here are so close together. I would take this wholesale all day long. I'm gonna do zero work, nothing at all this property. I'm just gonna have, like, if she leaves any trash or whatever, cleaned out, take down the blinds, take it and list it. And I'd make 30 grand. I'm gonna make another 15 grand by taking it and flipping it. I'm gonna do that. I need to keep the project manager busy. So on this one here, I'm doing that full flip exit on this property. We will make about 44,000 in total, which is perfect. It's about 25K flip. Like, so if I were to wholesale this to someone and they were to flip it, they would make about $25,000, which is about standard for a flip that has a ARV of 250,000. 10% profit of 250,000 is 25 grand. Perfect. Lands right in the ballpark. So we'll make about $44,000 on this property in total between the wholesale and the flip. And it's a pretty straightforward flip. So we're game with this one. It's in a great zip code of Greenville. I like it, and everything makes sense with it. So this here is exactly how I underwrite a property and take a look at it and know. Obviously, I didn't get into comping it, but this is running through the MAO calculator. We did that. Ran you through the rehab estimator by looking at the photos. That's how we underwrite the properties. If sellers send us photos or we walk them in person, which you should be getting in person as often as you can starting out, because nothing builds rapport like being in person. And then I ran it through the scenarios to know what I would do. If this full flip number here would have come out to have been like 30, I would have wholesaled that for 20. I wouldn't have even dealt with it for the 10K extra. But here, we're going to flip this property. It just makes sense that we flip it. So easy deal here to know what we're going to do with it. The numbers make sense. I hope this is useful. You got to see the calculator in live, getting used in person. So here you go. Take it. Use this calculator. I promise you it will help solve a lot of problems and make things a lot easier for you.